I'm Austin. I play bass.
My name's Dylan. I play the bass.
My name is Nick, and I also play the bass.
Wait. Hold on, what?
Nick, I
guys
know
are
for a
cheesy.
fact that you don't play the bass.
It's so good though.
Well, there's really no set bass player in the band. We all kind of play the bass, and we have a few songs each that we get going on.
Yeah, it's something we all like to play, so we definitely made it happen to where each of us gets time on the bass. It has to do, a lot with each of the songs individually as well. So.
And like since we started, we never really had a set bass player. We've always switched instruments, and so everyone kind of gets a different spotlight. And
Ever since we started playing shows, people have always been like, hey, one of the big things I like about your band is that you guys are always switching instruments, so that's something that we tried to keep
going.
To keep up with this record as well. We wanted to keep the rotation going and keep the different feels from the different bass players.
So deciding who was going to play which instrument on this album was a bit of a challenge for us. There's three of us that all play the same instrument, bass, guitar, and ukulele. So going into every song, we wanted to make sure we picked the perfect combination that sounds great for that song on the album, but also considering us being able to recreate that for you live. Just like an inch towards me, yeah. Alright, buddy. So depending on each individual song, we all write each part. It's kind of like when you have bass, not we're necessarily responsible for the bass line, but we like to write our own bass lines. That doesn't mean, we definitely bring them to the band, make sure that they sound good, get your bandmate's opinion on it, and it's definitely good when you're stuck on something. And
it's usually we'll come with like a structure mainly, and then we'll get influence from the other guys and see what's going to work best, or maybe you should do this. And it's just nice getting the influence, because you come up with something and sometimes it's super easy, but sometimes it's crazy hard, like you were saying. So getting the second opinion is nice.
Yeah, in a way we all kind of have a hand in writing each bass part. Like you guys said, one person will kind of come up with a bass structure for it, and then the other two, it's nice to have their
opinions.
Yeah, it's nice to have them there to sit and give their opinions, or sit there with another bass and help you write out another line as it comes along and develops.
another big thing is we all take turns singing as well, whether it's lead harmonies or anything else like that. So when coming up with the bass part, sometimes it's like, will I be able to play this bass part and sing lead, or should we make it more of a simplistic bass line for that reason? So you definitely want to make sure that it all fits well together.
And in Desert Fish, we don't really have a set bass player. The real reason is because we all kind of like to play the bass. Whether it's that's where I started, was on the bass, but that's kind of why I like to play it. Dylan is a really great bass player, and he likes to play the bass as well. And then also just recently picked up the bass and started playing that as well. So we kind of give each other the chance to get on the bass spotlight a little bit.
Yeah!
Let's get me in there so we're done.
It's Nick's one take wonder time.
You guys keep beating your heads.
Sorry, man.
I was feeling good too.
I know.
Yeah, dude, that was...
How close was that,
It
Austin?
was pretty damn close.
It was pretty dang close, right?
I started playing bass in the truck on the way to a gig in Oracle. I mean, I've always played guitar, so we figured it might transfer easily, but there was one gig where Nick couldn't make it, and this was with their old band, No Parking Zone. And
Shout out to Parking Zone.
Shout out to Parking Zone. But yeah, Nick wasn't able to make it, so they called me, and I learned bass and all the parts on the way there. So that's how I started playing bass.
I started playing bass, just like almost every instrument I learned was self-taught, other than drums. Me and Austin went to school for drums back in high school, during which we kind of taught ourselves how to play guitar. I guess at the same time, not there long after, I was, like he said, jamming in a band with Nick. So I was always picking up different instruments, drums, bass, all that type of stuff. So I learned it about in high school, I guess I'd say, is when I started playing the bass.
Shout out sophomore bassline.
I started playing bass in the 7th grade. my buddy Zach, he wanted to make a band and he didn't have a bass player. So he's like, you want to play the bass? And I was like, I don't know what that is, but I'll do it. So that's kind of how I started
Tell
playing
them what
bass.
you played
and
your
then-
first gig on.
Oh yeah, well, the K?
No, just the one string.
Oh, well yeah, for like the first 3 years I didn't know what I was doing, so I always played on just the top string, sit there with my feet together and just look all awkward and shit. Just play.
Root gotta learn somewhere, yeah.
Everything I've learned from these guys. I didn't go to music class like they did, unfortunately, and learn all that or band and stuff, so I learned it all from them.
Recording process for bass was actually pretty quick compared to most other things. We didn't run into that many hiccups along the way. I think we knocked it all out within 2 weeks tops, and it was honestly one of the more smooth processes of recording this record.
Holy shit, dude.
Alright, yeah, so I think we started, me and Dylan, there's been multiple versions of Desert Fish, and we started the first version probably around 2010, and slowly we added Austin in, and then we had a few more members that we've had for a while, and we went on a little bit of a hiatus a couple years ago, about a year or two ago, and we got rid of some members, and then we gained a few more, and now we're working on this new project here.
It's always tricky to find people that are on the same
Yeah.
wavelength.
To find dedicated people that are passionate about it and are just all in, like it's a hard mixture to find in people that are doing, because we all have lives, we all work jobs, so to get everybody together and have that motivation is pretty hard to find.
This current group of 5 that we have now probably got together, well,
About a year ago.
the latest members were added about a year ago.
About a year
Over
ago when John joined.
And John
We had a
Roll.
few movements as far as bass player, key player, all that stuff. So we really solidified the sound and what it takes to make Desert Fish the best, and it ended up being the 5 of us right here now.
Any last words for the video?
Like what?
Slapping the bass now.
Slapping the bass on the boom boom.
Well, we just want to thank you guys for coming here and watching this, if you're watching, and if you're keeping up on the album and you're excited about it. We're excited about it too. We're going to get it out to you as soon as we possibly can. Thank you guys for your love and support, and we'll see you in the next one.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
3 of us that all play the same instrument, bass, guitar, and ukulele. So, no.
Like, we all like to pass the... Okay.
It was a bit of a challenge for us. There's 3 of us that all play the same instrument at CM.
The reason there's no real set bass... Wow, why is that such so thing?
We good?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.